Hi all, welcome back to the tractor shed. And yeah, there we are, another DLTX 34 carburettor. You may recall I did a video a few months back which was posted in November regarding a carburettor I have on one of my tractors, and I was having problems with it flooding badly, and I knew it wasn't the bowl needle valve, and I pretty was sure that it was because of severe corrosion of this main jet tube. The water at some time had been sitting in there and had flaked out rather large pieces of metal, and the main jet, that fella there, just wasn't sitting right round the bottom, and I'm pretty sure it was sucking up fuel past it. Anyway, that video's been made. If you wish to go back and have a look at it, go and have a look at it. The top and the bottom of it was that it was only a partial success when it was put back on the tractor. In that it didn't flood anymore when you tried to start it, but it was still not good to start, which is unusual on that particular tractor I have, due to the fact that it is a good starter generally. And secondly, once you did get it started, it would run fine on petrol, but the minute you put it over onto the kerosene, you had to adjust the load needle. You had to, I think, not that I've done it recently, I've driven it recently, but I think you had to open the load needle up a quarter of a turn for it to run properly on kerosene. So obviously, by increasing the size, the hole in here, to accommodate a more tighter fitting main jet boss, it obviously does alter the characteristics of the tractor and how it runs. Now, yeah, at the time I said I might end up wrecking a decent carburettor. Well, it wasn't really that decent, that carburettor. It was badly pitted in this tube. It was badly pitted down the actual choke of the carburettor, and so I wasn't too worried. It was a good experiment to try. As I say, out of 100%, I would say it was probably only 30% successful. So yeah, there we go, a fresh carburettor, freshly shipped in from the US, from my supplier. It's a good core, it's not rotted out or anything. In fact, it's actually in excellent shape, other than it wants a good service. So the plan is to give it a good shot blasting. Yeah, I know, everybody's saying shot blasting carburettors, no, don't do it. But if you're careful, keep these little screws in so they don't get any shot down any of these tubes, and you'll be fine. I've done it several times and never had an issue, but you've got to be careful. It is going to need a new main jet. It's always worth taking out the main jet. I don't know if that's going to show up, but can you see all the crud around the bottom, round the boss here at the bottom? And the tube was actually had a lot more crud in it. I've swept it off the off here, but there was a lot more crud in it. So it's always worth taking that out and ensuring it's not too badly, those holes aren't too badly bunged up. I probably will end up having to put a new one in, because to get them out, you've got to drill them down that hole, and tap it. I use a 10mm bolt, which is a 6mm thread. Tap it and then just slide them out, tap them out with a little slide hammer. They just pull out like that out the bottom. And that was the problem with the other one. It was that main jet was very slack in that body, and with me drilling this out, machining it out and putting a bigger boss on, I tried to tighten it all up, and I think it's obviously upset the metering. So yeah, I might have to buy a new main jet, but that won't be a problem. The other thing was I've taken them out, but the the throttle valve spindles. There's the spindle, throttle valve, and the throttle valve bushes, I should say. It was badly worn in these bushes, and so I'll put new bushes in. I'll make some up on the lathe and ream them out so a nice tight fit on the shaft. I think I've mentioned in other videos. It is sometimes you have a tractor that's bad to start, and you think, well, the magneto's good, the engine's got good compression and sound. It can just be down to air getting past these worn bushes and this shaft, particularly at the top here. I know I've cured 2 or 3 tractors for people and myself because of that fact. Tractor's bad to start. When you get hold of the old spindle, it's a bit loose in the body in here, in there. It's a bit loose in here, and it's because it's worn and it's allowing air in here, and it's just weakening down the mixture. So I'll put some new bushes in and tighten it up that way. The rest of it's not in too bad a condition. The choke's good. There's the spring that holds the main jet in the bottom. And 1 or 2 other bits and bobs. I have the bowl somewhere in another bag which is in good condition. So yeah, we'll rebuild this one and back to standard. Nothing, I'm not going to experiment with this one at all. Back to standard, put it on, and hopefully we'll be back to a decent starting tractor again. If I'm not, then it possibly is a more in-depth problem within the engine. I do use that tractor quite a bit, or have been. The engine has had work done on it when I got it, but it wasn't work done by me, so I'm not too sure what the condition of the engine's in. So I might end up having to take the cylinder head off and give it a valve job or something. But I'm hoping for now this will restore it back to a reasonable starter. So yeah, that's today's project. The tractor here, it's under wraps at the minute, but there are other things done to it. But they're in videos that are about to be posted soon. So yeah, we're getting there. I've had the radiator away and had it pressure checked, and it's all good, so it'll be going on soon. 1 or 2 other bits and bobs. So yeah, no, it's coming along. It's a matter of now just getting pieces cleaned up and ready, painted to go on now. As you can see over there's a lot of bits and bobs being ready, done up, tidied up, and etc. So yeah. So now we're getting there. We're getting there. All right then. Thanks for watching. Bye.